to my IELTS Partner. In this session, we are going to discuss about some speaking tips for the IELTS speaking round. In this session, we will be looking at the ways in which a speaking test must be performed. The final section of the IELTS test is speaking. Aspirants of the academic and the general training take the same speaking test. The speaking test is organized on a day other than the day of the main exam. This speaking test usually takes place in about 11 to 14 minutes. It is divided into 3 parts. Part 1. This section of the test usually takes about 5 minutes. This is the introduction and interview section of the test. Here, the examiners will introduce themselves and the examinee's identity will be verified. In this part of the test taker will be asked questions regarding family, home, work, studies, interests, and other general questions. The questions asked to the test taker will be taken from a scripted examiner frame in order to ensure consistency. Part 2. This part is the long turn and lasts for 3 to 4 minutes. Here, the aspirant will be provided with a cue card containing a topic. The aspirant will then be asked to speak on the topic for about 2 minutes. They will also be given a minute to prepare for the topic before they start to speak. After speaking, the examiner will ask the aspirant 1 or 2 follow-up questions. This test does not focus on the general knowledge of the candidate. It solely tests the aspirant's fluency and command over the language. Part 3. Part 3 is the discussion round of the test. This test takes place for about 4 to 5 minutes. In this section of the test, the examiner and the test taker discuss issues related to the cue card topic of the previous round. However, here the discussion will take place in a more general and abstract way and in greater depth. The length of your answers and the time allotted to you for each answer will be controlled by the examiner. Now that we have discussed the different parts of the test, let us move on to the assessment criteria. The IELTS speaking test is assessed based on the following criteria. First, fluency and coherence. The ability of the test taker to speak at a normal speed with natural continuity and logical linking of words to maintain continuity is assessed here. The test taker is encouraged to speak naturally without hesitation while attending the test. Also, the test taker's use of linking words, pronouns, and intonation are also put under scrutiny in this test. 2. Vocabulary and language. This can be explained as the speaker's use of words that fit into the situation and the emotional mood of the person. The aspirant is expected to use words appropriately and the extent of their vocabulary is tested. 3. Grammatical range and accuracy. During the speaking test takers will be evaluated on their knowledge of English grammar. They will be judged on the appropriate and correct use of grammar and the variety of sentence structures they are capable of producing and using correctly. In short, the test taker must try to avoid making any grammatical mistakes. 4. Pronunciation. The articulation, accent, and intonation of the test taker will be put to the test. It is recommended that the test taker familiarizes themselves with the pronunciation of common words before appearing for the test. The best way to ace this test is through constant practice and by being yourself. Do not not feel shy about answering the questions and be true to yourself. Like I have mentioned before, this test won't judge you on the basis of general knowledge. So don't be afraid of being wrong or to speak your mind. The test taker must try to get comfortable with the examiner and try to be as natural as possible. In case you're still fretting over the speaking test, worry not. Your My IELTS partner has you covered with some handy tips. Let's get straight into it, shall we? First, be fluent and liberated. Do not hesitate to speak your mind. People tend to articulate better when they start speaking from their mind. It is okay if you fumble. Pick yourself up and carry on with the conversation. Be animated and clear. Present your ideas clearly and in a logical manner. 2. Practice answering simple questions. You will only get better with practice. You can practice by yourself by speaking about any topic and interest that you may have, or you can engage with friends and try to answer questions that they put forward. This way, you can correct yourself and improve your fluency. Try to incorporate new vocabulary into your speech and pay attention to your grammar. 3. Ask for the question again if needed. In case you did not catch the question, or if you do not understand it perfectly, it's okay to ask for the question again. Sort out the question, understand what is being asked of you, and only then should you attempt to answer. 4. Be emotional. The answers you give must be reflective of your opinions and feelings, rather than giving out perfunctory answers. It is better to be vocal about your likes, dislikes, and thoughts. This way, you will be much more comfortable with answering. Think of it this way. Since they will be testing you on how you speak, it is better to be animated so that you may sound more natural while speaking. I remind you once again that the focus of this test is more so on how you speak rather than what you speak. So if being emotive helps you speak better, our advice is go for it. 5. Extend your speech. Avoid answering the questions in one word. This is a test that focuses on your speaking skills. So giving short answers will only hurt your chances for acing it. If you are stumped at an answer and don't know what to add to it, try to justify why you said what you said, or mention if something or someone made you consider thinking that way. The key here is to answer long enough without being repetitive. 6. Be coherent. Your speaking must not go around in circles, and you should not go on about an answer in such a way that you forget what the question was. Try to use fillers and connectors. You need to connect the ideas in your speech using good connectors and discourse markers. You must try to add information, express likes or dislikes, ideas, and to conclude. Some helpful phrases are: something appeals to me because, I get a lot of pleasure out of something, I am keen to do something, I am keen on doing something, I am not keen on doing something, I am fond of something, I'm fond of doing something, I'm really fond of or not fond of certain people, I have grown fond of something, I didn't quite catch that. Could you say that again? Or could you explain what you mean by something? To put it another way, what I'm trying to say, what I mean is, that's a difficult question. I have never thought of it before. I couldn't agree more. I totally agree. Absolutely. Definitely. Precisely. I tend to agree with that. It really depends. That's one way of looking at it, however. That's not always true. As far as I'm concerned, as far as I know, I suppose, I would imagine, I am convinced that there is no other way. I have never really thought about it before. To wrap up, or to sum up, well, to be honestly, 7. Give yourself time to speak. Do not rush your answers. Take your time with them. Pause whenever necessary. Fluency does not equal speed, so do check your speed when you are practicing. Pronounce each word clearly and don't rush over them. Give the listener ample time to take in what you've said. However, you must also be careful not to be too slow as well. 8. Don't panic if you make a mistake. As humans, we are bound to make mistakes. It is natural. As such, if you happen to make mistakes while appearing for the speaking test, don't get flustered and don't panic. Carry on with what you are saying without much hesitation. Dwelling on your mistakes will only be detrimental for you. Move on, carry on. Mistakes happen to the best of us. 9. Make a good impression. Greet your examiner and try to be pleasant throughout the test. Be amicable and polite, but not too rigid. It's okay to smile and be casual. 10. Don't learn answers by heart. Memorizing your answers will only cause you to hesitate. It wouldn't allow you to be flexible, nor will it help you in leaving a good impression. Rather than sounding mechanical, it is far more genuine and better if you can try to answer by yourself. The only way to get there is through constant practice. Remember, hard work always pays off. Thus, with this we have covered all the topics that were named in the beginning of this session. We saw how to ace the speaking test. So, until the next session, bye!